So if you want to know the true impact of the changes you make in your TPT store before and after, then the ABC dashboard is the solution for you. Hey, TPT sellers, you know how in your store, you have this idea that if I change this, I think it's going to improve sales. Or I think I'm losing sales because of the product covers, so I'm going to go change them all. But then you're not actually sure if that made any difference. This new update that I'm working on for a free seller tool will let us see the conversion rate before the day we change it and after the day we change it. And then we'll be able to know, yeah, that change probably helped or probably hurt my product. No more guessing anymore. I'm going to show you an example from my own data in December. Couple of things. My goal is to 10x my income in 2024. I need to make $92,000 from TPT in 358 days. I am nowhere close to that. So that means more than just trying to 10x my product output, although that's what I'm working on. I also have to try to make large changes that may not pay off, but they might. I'm inspired by Babe Ruth. He had a record for home runs, but he also struck out a lot. And that's because when he was up to bat, he was making some big swings. I'm trying Facebook ads. I remember another TPT seller in 7-digit land telling me that they hit the second milestone in a couple of months once they cracked the code with Facebook ads. So I'm tinkering around with that. I think that might be the hidden secret that maybe doesn't get talked about because we need eyeballs, but the market is saturated. Let's talk about data. I call it the ABC dashboard because basically if you save your product stats CSV a bunch of times, then if I have date A, date B, and date C, if I take my product stats from 3 different time points, I can compare the conversion rate. This is what I've been working on. It's not live on a freesellertool.com yet. Watch the end of the video to find out how to get it. I have here a tab called TPT Product Stats CSV All. What I do is every time I download my CSV file, I actually include the date on the left-hand side. So you can see this is November 27th. The next time I downloaded my CSV file is here on December 5th. Then the next time I downloaded it was December 11th. All of my CSV files are in the same Google Sheet with the date on the side. At the bottom, I have this new tab here called ABC. This is the ABC dashboard. There's a couple of drop-down menus with dates. So date A is the beginning, the first CSV that we're using for analysis. Date B is the day that we make the change. So for my example, December 11th is when I made the super sale change on one of my products. Date C is the endpoint for the CSV. I'm just going to expand here. When we download our product stats CSV from TPT, it gives each product we have a number. For example, the product that I'm looking at, I know is this transferable skills bundle, which is product number 18. So that's why I've set this product to be 18. On the left-hand side here, the ABC dashboard is just telling me how many CSVs I have here with dates. So I can see I have 13 days to play with. I actually have data for a couple of years, but when I tried to put it all into this Google Sheet, it just crashed. So one of the reasons why this ABC dashboard isn't live yet is because I need to figure out how to stop it from crashing. Little things. If I click this button at the top, I can see all of the product stats CSV tables like I'm used to, page views, product previews. And if I scroll down here, I can see here's date A, date B, date C, and it's pulling up the specific row so I can make some quick comparisons. One of the things I noticed was that my wish listed went from 335 to 334. If I go back to the raw data, here is resource number 18 on November 27th, and I can see it was wish listed 335 times. And I'm just going to scroll down. Here we go, December 11th. The problem is there's so much data, I can't actually compare the numbers easily. I could hide them, hide rows like this, and then I can see easily that, okay, on November 27th, there were 335 people who had it wish listed. On December 11th, only 334 people had it wish listed. But it's hard to make that kind of analysis with large sets of data. But the ABC dashboard lets us make those comparisons easily because it puts the data side by side. So I can see 335 and then 334 and then 346 at the end of my time period. What I really want to see is what happened before and after I made my change on date B. If I close this, so if I scroll up to the top of the ABC dashboard, I can see how many page views I got in the time period from November 27th to December 11th was 47 page views. And then I made my change on December 11th. And between that December 11th and January 6th, I got 335 page views. So it seems like my change it seems like my change made a big difference. The number of product previews went up. During this time period, the wish listed went down by 1 before I made the change, but after the change, I got 12 new wish listed things. Before I made my change on my product, I sold 0 of this product. After I made the change, I made 16 sales. So I can see that in terms of earnings, before I made the change on this product, I got $0. After I made the change, I made $260. I'm going to close this tab here so we can look at the big picture here. Before I made my change on December 11th, 47 page views. After I made my change, 335. My product preview has increased by a factor of 4. It went from 4% product preview rate to 16%. So the change that I made was good enough to get people to look at the product preview more. My wish list rate went from -2 to 4%. My sold rate, it was 0 before, but now it's almost 5%. I would not be able to tell this change just by looking at the CSV data. Let me prove it to you. Let's look at the raw data. So here's January 6th. I'm just going to hide the rows that we don't need to look at. Let's just make this green. If I only had the TPT product stats to look at, then on January 6th, I would say my conversion rate was 1.7% for this New Year's bundle. And my conversion rate before that, before on December 11th, was 1.64%. The change that I made on December 11th in this product only created 0.06 of a conversion rate difference. But that's not true. That's based on the lifetime conversion rate, all of the page views and all the units sold for the entire lifespan of this product. What I really need to be looking at is the specific time period before and after my change. So the real conversion rate for this period after I made the change should be 16 units sold divided by 335. 16 units sold divided by 335 times 100% is 4.8%, which is what it says here, 4.8%. So I'm pretty comfortable with the math. It looks like it's working out. Some of you are thinking, you're saying, Mike, you're not really comparing apples to oranges because maybe the amount of time from A to B is different from B to C. You're right. Yeah. So we do have to account for that. This is still a work in progress. I have tracked it down a little bit in here so I can see during the before period, it's a 14-day time period. And then afterwards, I can see there's 26 days in that. If I click the plus sign to open this up here, I can see earnings per day. So it's averaging out based on the dates in the time period here. So I can see here, yeah, I'm earning $10 per day with this change. Whereas before I made the change, I was earning $0 per day. Yes, I know it could be because of the holiday season, but the ability to compare the conversion rate before we make a change and after we make a change is 10 times better than what we're currently doing, which is kind of guessing. I guess it made a change. Did changing that product cover make a difference? Maybe. Here's how you can find out. So now the question is, well, what did I change on December 11th? Every time I make a change to my product, I now download my TPT product page as an HTML file so that I can see exactly what I changed. Let me show you. Here's December 11th. I have 2 backups saved. This is what it looked like before I made the change. And if I go back here, this is what it looked like after I made the change. Let's put these side by side so it's easy to see. So I'm just going to click and drag it to the side. And I'm going to click the other one here. So now I can see at the top here, it's hiding the date here. Let's just make this bigger. So I can see up here at the top, it says December 11th at 8:28. I'm just going to shrink that again. And on this one here, if I expand it, it says 8:57. This is the second one. So let's see what I changed here. I can see I made some changes here. New year, new you. Oh, the cover has changed. I can see that. I can't click on these small ones. I'm left to the small thumbnails. Did I change the grade levels? So before it said the new year and life skills, here it says social emotional learning. So maybe that's the reason. Probably the big reason here is the change from $80 to $20. And that's because I'm trying to figure out, has the price of this product just crept up so much that it's not worth buying anymore? If I go down to the product description, I can compare what I wrote in the past versus today. If you like what you see with this ABC dashboard, there's a few things that you should start doing right now. Number 1, document when you make a change. Every time I make a change, I have a Google form. I paste the product URL because in the product URL is your TPT product ID. And later on, we're going to be able to extract that and to be able to connect our data in some cool ways. So that's why I paste that URL. I know that's something that's going to be coming up one day. I make a quick note about what I changed. So for example, this is my super sale, or I changed the price. This is just a reminder to me to save that page HTML. I make a note to download the CSV. You don't need to use a Google form. You could use a piece of paper. You could use a Google Doc and just record the date where you make a change. I do it in a Google form because I make lots of changes. One time, my 6C citizenship unit used to sell a lot. It was one of my best sellers. and then something happened and now it doesn't sell as much as my communication or my collaboration resources. I think I changed something by accident. Maybe I changed a category or a keyword, so now it's not being seen. I wish I had recorded what my little changes were so that I could go back in time to undo my mistake. If you're just starting and you're a TPT tadpole, just make products. Don't worry about this stuff yet. But once you have that feeling like, yeah, actually, I could make some money in TPT, then you might start to want to document what you change. Or not, you do you. The key thing here for me is save your HTML files. Whenever I go make a product, I literally just hit a button and I save the file. Watch episode 21. Episode 21 will walk you through the free Google Chrome extension I use, as well as the settings to make sure it saves the date into the file name. All I do once I update my product is I click that save icon. It saves the page. This Chrome extension does it automatically. It's free. I hit continue save. I find the folder where I save these. I sort it by products. And then at the end of the file name, I make a quick note. During YouTube demo. Boom, done. And it closes the page for me. Even if data scares you and you don't want to use data, saving your HTML files of your product pages is a way to back up your TPT store product descriptions. The third takeaway is to start to save your CSV files when you make your big changes. So whenever I make a change in my store, I just go to product statistics, download to Excel. My suggestion is to just make a CSV folder and save the file with the date in it. So now you're wondering, when is this free update coming out? And the answer is in 1,751 hours. Mike, that's a very specific number. Here's why. I have created a free seller tool to help the TPT seller community. I want to help level the playing field. I don't think we should have to pay a lot of money to be able to analyze our TPT seller data. And I think TPT should update its TPT seller dashboard. So while we are waiting for those things to happen, here's a temporary Band-Aid solution, which is a Google Sheet tool that you can use. The challenge is, this is my side hustle. My main hustle has to be focusing on my TPT store right now, which is to get $92,000 in the year, which means the more time I spend on my TPT store, the less time I can spend on this project. That's where you come in. I don't want to put this behind a paywall. You don't want it behind a paywall, and it doesn't have to be behind a paywall. So here's how we can do it. I need your help to get the SEOTpreneur YouTube community channel to the point where it is monetized. You may not know this, but YouTube runs ads, but the content creator only gets a share of the ad revenue once you get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. YouTube has a very cool app. We can only become a YouTube partner once we hit those milestones. It's not the first milestone we need to hit. It's the second milestone here. Our SEOTpreneur YouTube community has 886 subscribers, so we're almost at 1,000 subs. But the hard part is going from 2,249 watch hours to 4,000 watch hours. And that's where I need your help. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, I will publish this ABC dashboard update. It's not ready yet. I'm using it now to help me 10x my store, but there's still some glitches and I have to make it pretty, so it's not ready for public consumption yet. If you want this free ABC data tool for TPT sellers, I need you to watch all of my videos. Seriously. Let's do an experiment here. If you go to the SEOTpreneur channel, if you go past the For You section, it says Mega List, TPT Seller Tips. If you click Play All, there we go, and just leave it playing while you're working on your TPT store, while you're playing with your kids, while you're going to sleep. It helps us get watch hours. Wow, there are a lot of ads. I don't make any money from these ads, but the moment we start making money from these ads, it helps me to get more videos out the door quicker because I can hire video editors, which helps you with your TPT store. So it's win-win. Seriously, there are 38 hours of content in that mega playlist. That is crazy. If 46 of us watch this on our computer at home, we could do this in a week. So if you want to know the true impact of the changes you make in your TPT store before and after, then the ABC dashboard is the solution for you. Here's the challenge, because it's basically an 8-hour night, 5 nights. If 46 of us start the playlist, and then when we wake up, we just turn it off and then continue it the next day, in 1 week, we could have this ABC dashboard tool. You don't have to pay in money, and you don't even have to pay in your time. All you have to do is just 5 nights, watch through the playlist and see if you can watch all 38 hours of content. You can't repeat the beginning over and over again. You gotta go from beginning to end. Watch every single video. I mean, you can do this during the day and just completely max out your TPT store knowledge, or do it at night while you sleep. Are you in? Leave a comment. Let's see how long it takes us to get this ABC dashboard out to everyone for free.